Can the new Fender American Acoustasonic Jazzmaster really replace your electric guitar? And is this guitar worth the hype? Let's find out. For years, I've been frustrated with my acoustic guitar sound. Plus, I play a lot of electric guitar during some of the same sets, and I thought, oh, maybe I can buy this thing and I can not have to switch guitars. I've also been very frustrated with the sound of the built-in pickups of my year 2000 Gibson J45 Standard and the new Martin X Series Special. This is an ebony guitar. It's actually quite great for the price. It's only $400 or $500, depending on whether or not you find it on sale. But still, I thought I could do better. I hated going into a live gig and feeling like my acoustic just didn't sound like it really should in the room. Well, this thing can solve that problem. This is what it sounds like. Sounds pretty nice as an acoustic, right? But what about the electric guitar? What about the Craftmanship? All right, if you want to hear more about the acoustic guitar sound and whether or not this can replace your acoustic guitar, I made another video that I released previously. So go check that out. It's a guitar shootout video featuring the Jazzmaster, the Martin here, and the Gibson J45. What about as an electric guitar, though? Can you really play this over a Stratocaster? Okay, let's listen to the electric guitar sounds. Here is the crunch sound. Not bad. Pretty cool. What about the lead? Okay, if I turn the tone dial here, I can switch to a clean Stratocaster, supposedly a fat Strat. Okay, one of the things you're going to notice is that it sounds kind of dark. It really doesn't sound like a fat Strat. Those are pretty bright guitars. Well, I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure if it's the pickup situation or if it's the brass strings. Because putting brass on an electric guitar, well, that would kind of change the sound a little bit. So, what can I say about this? You know, I really like this sound for certain things, but I don't think it's actually going to be a replacement for your electric guitar. I mean, it's just too dark. Maybe if you run an EQ pedal or something, but I don't know why they didn't craft the sound a little bit more. I mean, this is a modeling guitar, right? Why didn't they EQ out some of that mud? It seems kind of like a strange choice to me. Let's compare this to a Gibson Les Paul, and you can hear the difference. All right, so keep this sound in your head. you can see, this thing's a whole lot more clear. The last thing we could check out is what happens if you run the fat clean sound through a pedal, a distortion pedal instead. I'm going to run that thing through Amplitube recording software so you can actually see what this might sound like through a simulated Mesa Boogie. The sound that you're about to hear is the exact same sound through Amplitube that I just used on the Les Paul. This is a combination of 3 amps that I tried to make my own really cool amp sound, the Mesa Boogie, some kind of German amp, and some other stuff. I do like this guitar a lot. I do think it sounds pretty cool for lead, and that distortion does have character, but it just isn't that standard big-bodied crunch. It's got too much buzz to it, almost like you're going through a fuzz pedal. So I'm not sure if advertising it as something that can replace your electric guitar is exactly accurate. Maybe for some sets, but I find that if I truly want to play a lot of electric guitar, I basically have to take my Gibson with me. In addition, since you've got brass strings on this thing, I mean, the action's a lot tighter. So unless you're playing with a lot of tension on your guitar, it's going to feel, a lot tighter than you're comfortable with. You're not going to probably want to shred on this thing. I mean, it's cool if you do. Stevie Ray Vaughan had a lot of tension on his guitar. So, maybe some people can do it, but if you're used to playing with like 10 gauge strings on your guitar or 9s or something, maybe even 11s and electric strings and not brass, then yeah, you're going to have trouble shredding like crazy on this guitar. It's still pretty versatile. I mean, you've got those acoustic sounds built into it. If you want to hear all of those, in the other video where I have the shootout with the Martin and the Gibson, I go through every single guitar sound, every single simulated guitar sound that this modeling guitar has built into it. So you can hear what it sounds like as a jumbo, a dreadnought, a parlor guitar, what it sounds like with just the piezo, stuff like that. It seems to be a little bit more softer wood than I would like. I mean, I've already put a couple nicks in it, and I really don't know how because I've been babying it. It's not going to be as durable as a guitar with finish on it, and it's not as durable as even that ebony Martin there. That's a little bit unfortunate. The craftsmanship, though, is really high. I mean, I don't know if you can really see this, but the neck looks amazing. And where the fretboard, meets the neck here, it just feels really smooth. No sharp frets. I do have a couple gripes, though. You see on the headstock here? The lettering's just not very dark. And in my opinion, the headstock looks like somebody just finished sanding it. Like I just grabbed this thing off the workbench. And for some reason, it just seems a little bit unfinished. And even more so than, say, a satin finished Highway 1 Stratocaster by Fender. I mean, I just kind of thought the headstock didn't look like it was quite done. I would have liked to see some darker lettering here, and this is kind of a picky gripe because I tend to like those darker, more finished headstocks. I'm also concerned that I'm probably going to beat the crap out of this thing. I mean, I strum kind of hard, and with it having a very thin or no finish, I mean, it looks like a satin finish, this thing is probably going to take quite a few scratches to it. So if you buy one, the only way you're going to keep it in perfect condition, I think, is if you play really lightly and really carefully. If you're a gigging musician, you're going to have to expect it to get a little bit beat up. So for me, I'm going to have to look at it like in 30 years it's going to be a really cool relic. I'm not going to be able to look at it like a guitar I want to keep in pristine condition, unless I just don't want to take it out anywhere. Overall, do I recommend this guitar? Yeah, I do. I mean, depending on what you're going to do with it. I mean, I love playing this guitar. It's very lightweight. It's very comfortable. It can replace your acoustic guitar for a gigging guitar if you're just plugging in direct live. It cannot replace your electric guitar plugged in. You can also record direct with this guitar as an acoustic, and it's going to sound really good. And if you like a darker guitar sound, you might be able to get away with it on that crunch channel as an electric. But again, it's not as versatile as an electric guitar as I would have liked. I was a little bit disappointed with it in that regard because I really was expecting to not have to take my Gibson to my job to perform. And unfortunately, depending on the day and depending on the set, I just can't do that all the time. I did have some issues with the wiring when I first got this guitar, and that was a little bit concerning. There was a bad solder job on the piezo, and I actually had to have the lead wire replaced on this pickup. So 2 of the pickups were not working, and a couple times I just showed up somewhere to play. I pulled it out of the gig bag, and I plugged in, and there was no sound, or maybe I could only get the crunch working, and I couldn't get any of the acoustic sounds working. So that was a little frustrating, and that just doesn't seem like something that should happen. I don't know if Fender was having some issues during the COVID season or what, but for whatever reason, this guitar was not ready to go out of the box, and I had to get 2 repairs done to it. So that was a little bit frustrating. But now that it's working, I do really like it. I also really love this little streak here. I mean, I didn't like it at first, but the way the wood turns color like that, it's really nice. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this guitar, what you use it for, and hey, if I'm wrong about this being able to be a standalone electric guitar, I would love to hear your experience and what you use the guitar for. So let me know, and let me know if you like it as an acoustic too. If you liked some of the stuff I was playing, I am an artist, I'm a musician, I go by the name Vandarth. It's like Darth Vader driving a van. Look up Vandarth on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, or wherever it is you listen to music. Like this review and subscribe if you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Send me any questions in the comments, and you can add me on Facebook or Instagram. My handle is Vandarth Music or Vandarth on Twitter. All right, we will see you next time. Isn't life strange? It can be beautiful as it pulls you apart.